Let me take you to a time Frieza was about to charge up his energy ball to eliminate Planet Vegeta. Everything is going according to the storyline expectations. The Saiyans enter the atmosphere to see what is going on, Bardock is there, Gine is on the planet, and Goku has already been sent to Earth. The difference that changes the entire events of Dragon Ball as we know it is that Frieza begins charging his energy ball, but just like we've known him to hold back on Planet Namek against Goku when he threw the energy ball then, Frieza does not put enough energy into the energy ball this time around to eliminate Planet Vegeta. You could say his arrogance played a part, or his laziness, but Frieza's nature of fooling around just took part. He doesn't mind because he enjoys putting others through pain and suffering anyway. The energy ball is charged and away it goes, towards the Saiyans of Planet Vegeta. This time, Bardock changes the circumstances completely. With all of his might, all of his power, all of his love, he fires back at the energy ball, but unlike in the original story where Frieza's ball completely overpowers Bardock and knocks the confidence out of him, Bardock senses that there is a way he can push back. It's a powerful energy ball, but Bardock feels he can do this. He can push this one back. It's less power than the original, much less, and this gives Bardock a chance, and so Bardock blasts the ball away with every ounce of power he has. Bardock breathes heavy and begins falling down to Planet Vegeta, where he is quickly followed by a few Saiyans who catch him and look at him as a hero. The Saiyans' eyes open in the skies and they can see the truth, and because of Bardock's heroic effort there, the Saiyans' courage grow. They are no longer in fear of the tyrant. Yes, they are scared of his power in general, but in their eyes, they have a new courage to fight with everything they have. However, for Frieza, this is all just a surprising game for him. He smiles and looks how pathetic he thinks the Saiyans are, knowing full well he could dismantle all of them. Bardock opens his eyes barely and can see a blur towards Frieza's ship, shouting to the Saiyans, "He's on his way!" The Saiyans all decide to land on Planet Vegeta to regroup and explain what they could quickly to the Saiyans around. Several hundred Saiyans are there, and Frieza then approaches the planet, looking down on all of them in disgust. He looks at Bardock and says, "So this was the filthy monkey that threw away my ball. Good, because now I know full well he belongs at the circus." Frieza leaves his mini-pod and walks towards Bardock, who is lying down and can't move. Several Saiyans attack Frieza to stop him approaching, and they get hit away with ease by Frieza. The Frieza army is still in Frieza's spaceship, and only Zarbon and Dodoria are behind Frieza. Frieza looks at Bardock and says, "So you think you're a hero for these monkeys? This is exactly why you need to die. You're getting too much out of control. But due to that heroic effort, I'll make a deal with you that you won't be able to refuse." Bardock barely looks at Frieza and says, "Go spit, Frieza." Frieza says, "It's obvious you want me dead, Bardock, but due to your insignificant Saiyan race, there's no way any of them could ever hold the potential to stop in the Frieza Force, especially me. All except you. Maybe. Perhaps. Perhaps you're the bad egg of the group. And if you're gone, then the Saiyans have no hope left. Their spirits would be destroyed. So here's the deal. Your life or Planet Vegeta's with the whole Saiyan race. If you survive Bardock, you can be my trusted lieutenant alongside the two behind me, and maybe one day, maybe, you could rise up and stop me. Or you can kill yourself now, so that the Saiyan race can lose all hope and die a slow, painful death over the years until they are no more than just monkeys in an empty wilderness. Because mark my words, Bardock, I will take all of the equipment from the Saiyans and they can live in ruins for all I care. Now choose!" Bardock begins to stand up with every fiber in his body. "Frieza, you have already lost and you just don't know it yet." Bardock grabs Frieza's hand and places Frieza's finger into his own chest. "Do it, Frieza. Kill me and dig yourself a deeper grave. And to all of you here, don't ever bow down to him. Let him take your weapons, let him take your armor. We are Saiyans, there's more to us than this. You've just gotta find it in you. One of you has the..." In a sudden moment, the beam goes right through Bardock. Frieza looks in disgust again at Bardock falling down to the floor. Bardock has a smile on his face as he's falling. He then lies motionless. He is dead. Frieza says, "Enough with that repulsive speech. There is no one on this planet that can ever stop me. Frieza Force, strip the Saiyans of their weapons and armor, destroy their defense systems. We are leaving this rancid planet and the Saiyans will rot here for the rest of their days. Maybe I will return just to see the mess I've made in about 20 years' time. You can thank Bardock for this." For the next several days, the Saiyans are brutally beat up, stripped down to their loincloths, and are forced to survive on the land, with a few damaged buildings near the wilderness. All of their large buildings destroyed. It's the bare minimum for anyone to survive. The Frieza Force leaves the planet in the ruins that it is. One female Saiyan now lives alone in his small home, feeling a missing presence of her loved one Bardock, as well as his son, Kakarot. Her name is Gine. She is alone. What does she live for now, she thinks. She thinks about everything that has happened. She mourns for Bardock for days, but as time passes with all of the tears drying and the clouds opening for a reason to live, she thinks of Kakarot. Where is my Kakarot, she says to herself. She remembers something very important about Bardock saying Kakarot was sent to planet Earth, and while she thinks of all the impossible ways to leave the planet, she remembers Bardock stealing 3 Saiyan pods back before Kakarot was sent. The original idea of Bardock was to have all 3 of them leave the planet, but then Bardock realized they would all be detected. So the 2 Saiyan pods that Bardock stole lie in the rocky caverns to the west of the Saiyan village, where no one could find them except Gine. Gine leaves with a small sack of supplies towards the Rocky Mountains. She knows it's a 2 hours walk. A sandstorm brews and she struggles to pass through. Her flight technique isn't fully developed yet and she can only jump high, but she's weakening, she's tired, emotionally drained. Her only goal is to find Kakarot. After 2 hours of hard pushing through a sandstorm, Gine finds 2 Saiyan pods in the cabin along with a small box. She opens the box and inside is just what she needed. A stashed away Saiyan armor like her other model. One for Bardock too, but that was of no use now. She suits up and looks at the scouters in there. Gine throws the 2 to the floor and puts her feet right through them. She says, screw that, they are not finding where I'm going. There are food supplies in there too. Fresh, so she takes them. But the sandstorm is still going strong outside. Gine lights a fire inside the cabin and waits for the storm to subside. She begins falling asleep, tired, but with a new focus. As she sleeps, she thinks of all the possibilities. If she will get to Earth, if she will find Kakarot. Did Kakarot make it? What about the Saiyan people still alive? Will she come back with help for the Saiyans? What about her other son Raditz? Is he safe in the hands of Vegeta and Nappa? Bardock's sacrifice? And most importantly, does she have the strength to stop Frieza? At this moment, she knows she can't do a thing, but she just sleeps deeply because she needs it. As our new hero sleeps, the very universe is changing as we know it. Due to Frieza's failed attempt of destroying planet Vegeta and taking matters into his own hands, a certain god of destruction is about to be rudely awakened from his sleep. Due to him authorizing the destruction of planet Vegeta, it's safe to say his disobeyed orders would lead to the god of destruction awakening in a tired rage to find out what has transpired. Beerus' mentor, Whis, decides to awaken Beerus on his planet. Whis, this better be good. I've barely had a few years' nap. Lord Beerus, I wouldn't have awakened you if it wasn't crucial. But the events as we know are changing in more ways than one. And trust me when I say this, Lord Beerus, but life itself isn't travelling in the direction intended, and it could lead to dire consequences. So what's happened, Whis? Well, Frieza failed to destroy planet Vegeta for one, and secondly, I feel a certain female Saiyan who has been spared will intervene in your future ambitions. I don't get it, Whis. I was planning to sleep for at least another 30 years. Trust me, Lord Beerus, we must deal with the matter at hand now so you can get back to sleep and have more wonderful dreams about your future. You really are a person of many talents, aren't you, Whis? Well, I am your teacher after all. I'll explain more about this female Saiyan once you've brushed your teeth. And so, questions are now raised. What will the Prince of all Saiyans think about these circumstances? How will this affect him? And what will happen if Gine makes it to Earth? Beerus has now awakened nearly 30 years too soon to the original storyline. How will these events unfold? The sun rises stronger than ever. The sandstorm from last night was a vicious memory of the past. Gine has been awake for the last hour, prepping the launch of the Saiyan space pod to this Earth. She wastes no time. She has to find Kakarot. It's time. I have to be stronger if I want to find Kakarot. If I want to live. If I want to defeat Frieza. If I want the Saiyan race to survive. I can no longer be this girl at home. My lovely Bardock, I wish you were here. I've cried for you all night, and I know this is sudden, but I can't cry forever. I wish you were here with me. I'll always love you. Maybe when this is all over, I'll find you again. Gine starts up the pod, and it launches into the atmosphere. Destination, Earth. On another part of the universe, Beerus has been informed of the change of events that Whis somehow knows. Maybe there are hidden depths to Whis that nobody knows about. Beerus was informed that in approximately 30 to 40 years' time, he would awaken to face a Saiyan named Goku. and that would lead to the events as many people would know it, which offered the correct circumstances for everyone. However, due to the disobedient, prideful act of Frieza, whose actions have an unknown motive and reason, and the survival of a Saiyan woman named Gine, these events, as we know, would not take place anymore. In fact, something far worse would come forth if these change of events continued. Whis, it's time to find that fool Frieza. How dare he disobey a direct command to blow up planet Vegeta? I want his head. There's a reason I wanted that planet destroyed, and after your foreseen vision of me facing this Goku, I can see now my instincts were correct. Let's go. Yes, Lord Beerus. However, we must tread carefully. As strong as you are, if the events have changed, there may be a chance that Frieza will now become stronger than before, and I should warn you about the growth level of his race during intense training. We must find him sooner than later. Not that it should worry a god of destruction, am I correct? Beerus and Whis set off to find Frieza. However, finding Frieza will not prove to be as easy of a task as Beerus and Whis thinks. The universe is a very large place. The Frieza forces occupy one galaxy, which is a microscopic proportion of a universe. It may take years to find Frieza, but that's what they aim to do. With Frieza now sparing the Saiyans, a simple yet effective motive is now in the tyrant's mind. Now that he's let the Saiyans live, he is suddenly more determined than ever to become stronger and face this fear of his, the legendary Super Saiyan rumor. Those pathetic apes. They actually think that I want to kill them by the roots so that I don't have to face off against their greatest legend. Well, if they only knew where I got my information from not to destroy the planet Vegeta. I no longer need to eradicate the Saiyans before they produce this legend. But in fact, I will relish in their primitive growth for the next 100 years if I have to, awaiting this pathetic legend. And when I'm at my strongest, I will rip open this Super Saiyan's head in front of every Saiyan, and then I will make each of them drink the blood of their Super Saiyan, and use their bloody lips to kiss my royal feet. Is that a little too much, Zarbon? No, Lord Frieza. This totally arouses me, seeing those apes lose all hope. And so, it seems Frieza had the heads up prior to exterminating planet Vegeta. Whoever talked to Frieza must know more about the future than we know, but the question is, who? Many months pass, and Gine's space pod comes crashing through the atmosphere and lands on an island to the south. Gine had endured a long travel, but now it was time for her to surface from the pod. The pod indicates that there are safe oxygen levels in the environment around. What seems to be an island surrounded by many more, with bright skies, Gine arises and takes a deep breath of fresh air and says, "Now, the true story of the Saiyans begins." There is no one else around, so Gine decides to set up her supplies next to a small cave tucked away at the back of the island. Luckily, her Saiyan strength allows her to drag the space pod and place it near the cave, down into a small ditch so it doesn't roll away, and could shelter her from extreme weather conditions and flooding if the small cave fails to do so in the island. As many months go by, Gine's plan to escape the island and begin the search for Kakarot have failed numerous times. The space pod's equipment has malfunctioned, the ocean around has been too strong and fearsome to pass. She has attempted to strongly swim out, but her stamina levels have not reached a level where she could sustain getting out there, and even once, she almost drowned, until the tide hit her back to shore out of sheer luck. Not a soul in sight. Food rations began running low very quickly in the months. The only thing on the island to sustain herself were the bark from trees and birds. But Gine could not justify even killing the wildlife. Something about her was different from the other Saiyans she grew up with. She had this connection with nature and the wild. This meant she would rather die than kill another innocent living soul, including the birds. However, her time was running out. She attempted basic training and movements every morning to strengthen herself, but this was no high-class training routine, just basic exercise. She knew little about combat and training, so her punches were sloppy and off balance. She could barely remember Bardock's shadow boxing and throw in a few uppercuts as practice. She was trying to mimic those, but she did not have the strength to perform effective, powerful moves right now. She was progressing on little experience and maximum instinct. She couldn't sustain the training and active lifestyle to escape the island as the food supplies were running thin. This, however, changed one day, as Gine was staring out into the ocean from the east beach of the island. Something is seen in the distance of the ocean. The silhouette of what could only be described as a turtle, with a man on top, began closing in to the island. Gine stands and squints to make sure it's what she sees. "Hello there!" a voice shouts. Gine looks confused, but instantly responds, "Help! Don't leave, whatever you do! The silhouette gets closer, the sun beaming at the ocean and into her eyes. Suddenly, a foot of a man wearing an orange shirt and white shorts step onto the glowing white sand of the island. The life of Dragon Ball was about to change forever. The old man looked at Guinea. There was silence. A stern face stared her down. "Can you help me?" says Guinea in a shaking voice. She hasn't talked to anyone in nearly 8 months. The old man looks and says, "You absolutely stink. All this water around and you don't even think to have a bath." Guinea says, "If you almost drowned, would you ever go in the water again?" The old man replies, "Probably not. Not for a while at least. But at some point I would need to face my fears." Guinea looks down and says in a disappointed voice, "I can't do it. I can't get out of here. I can't face the waves anymore. I can't save him." The old man steps closer to her. "Normally I can't wait to get my hands on some gorgeous looking lady. But number 1, you stink. Number 2, you need to smile more. And number 3, I can't help but think you're in a desperate struggle and don't belong here. Besides, what on earth type of outfit is that? It looks a little weathered but looks like something not from this planet. What are you doing on an island all alone? And who are you trying to save?" Guinea fights the urge not to cry. She looks up and stares at the old man. "Get me off this island and I'll tell you everything." The old man says, "What's in it for me? And don't worry, I'm not looking for a wife. I've got a lot on my plate with martial arts right now." Guinea says, "I can't give you anything right now, but I want to get stronger." "This martial arts, what is that?" The old man says, "I'm surprised you've never heard of it, and more importantly, not know who I am. I'm the great Master Roshi, martial arts master. And if you want to get stronger, I'll be willing to teach you a thing or two about how to survive in combat. I just need a favor." Guinea says, "And what's that?" Roshi says, "Once I train you, I want you to wear a little something I've got tucked away in my wardrobe." "Deal," says Guinea. A giant roar is here, shaking the foundations of the earth around their feet. Roshi shouts, "What the heck is that?" Guinea looks down. "Must be my stomach. Master Roshi, have you got anything to eat? I'm starving." Guinea leaves everything she brought with her. It was no use to her anymore. On the turtle they sit, and they set sail to Master Roshi's island. The training is about to begin. The months and years go by, and in this time, one young lady called Bulma has met up with a small boy named Goku, and their adventure awaits. And down on Master Roshi's island, Guinea is training in the arts of the Turtle Hermit. Now she has guidance. Everything has been explained to Roshi. Roshi sets on helping her find this boy named Kakarot. And deep in space, a tyrant begins to grow in strength at a dramatic rate. Frieza is getting stronger by the day. Beerus and Whis have not yet located him, but they are trying. And on planet Vegeta, the story of the remaining Saiyans will continue soon. On a remote island at the south end of the planet, months have passed since the appearance of a female Saiyan named Guinea had arrived with an old school martial artist, Master Roshi, showing her his home. Months of physical, emotional, and mental martial arts training take place. Months of milk runs, ocean swimming, months of preparation, and understanding the way of life and Earth. Guinea stands before Master Roshi outside Kame House, on the beach where all that can be heard are waves quietly splashing up to the white sand. Guinea stands tall, looking more determined than ever. Something has changed about her. She stands there in a red gi, with her hair tied back, bowing to symbolize her apprenticeship and respect of martial arts under the great martial arts master. "Master Roshi, I am ready."
"Ready, you say? When you first arrived here a few months ago, you were an emotional mess, Guinea. Needing a hand to hold, couldn't stop crying about this boy called Kakarot. Now look at you. You're focused to take on the large world. It can be a scary place to go out all by yourself."
Guinea replies while still bowing, "Thanks to you, I've discovered something about myself that I would never have found out before."
"Explain what you mean."
"I may be a woman of the great Saiyan race and survived this far, but I was not a warrior. But because I've survived this far, I've felt something awaken inside me. Only a little, but it felt like it was there all along. A warrior spirit. When I've found Kakarot, I will find you again, Master Roshi, and perhaps I can become an even greater martial artist.
You're talented, Gine. Not many have possessed the strength you have when performing martial arts. You were naturally strong when I met you, but now you've only started to grasp what you are. Don't get too full of yourself, though. You've got a long way to go. I've only opened the door for you for your growth.
Yes, Master Roshi, I'll be sure to be open-minded.
I wish you all the best in your quest. If you do come back, could you pick me up some of those magazines I told you about from the superstore? To help you out, I've got one last thing you should take to get back here quicker. Nimbus!
Before Gine set off from the island, Master Roshi had introduced her to a very beneficial method of transport, the Nimbus Cloud. From the distant bright blue sky, a shooting cloud leaving a trail of joy swirls into the island. Gine is made aware of how to ride the Nimbus Cloud, and with a step of faith, she stands on top of the Nimbus successfully. Gine's training allowed it to swim through oceans at high speeds now, to even leap as high as 50 meters with minimum effort. Gine could easily leave the remote islands to the next continent by herself, but Master Roshi insisted that she saves her strength for the journey ahead. She left Master Roshi's with a small backpack, filled with supplies which included mostly coin, and all school traveling equipment such as a compass and sleeping bag. There's not much she wants in life right now than to find Kakarot and then train to be a greater martial artist. The Dragon Ball timeline progresses with the normal events, with Bulma and Goku linking up with Master Roshi. Even with Roshi previously being introduced to Gine, this did not provide Master Roshi with any reason to believe Goku was Kakarot. And even with the tale, it had not registered with Roshi because on planet Earth, there are many living beings of all shapes, sizes, and traits, including Tails. The only time Master Roshi would stop and pause when talking to Goku was through that striking resemblance him and Gine shared in the eyes, and an unusual heavy state of hunger every 3 hours. That belly rumbling sound had haunted Roshi for months, but still, he would always remember Gine and wished her well in his mind, though he would never have mentioned it to Goku or Bulma. Gine had been traveling for months, and had even dismissed the Nimbus Cloud to travel on the ground and instead learn more about the villages and soon cities. She didn't want to stand out by riding the Nimbus Cloud everywhere. Gine was a very smart being, deciding to blend into the environments and life on Earth with clothing of the Earthlings. She would normally sleep rough on the outskirts of the city every night, near streams, so she could wash and freshen up for the next day's challenges. The Saiyan space pod she landed in was damaged. She had no high-tech equipment left to assist in finding Kakarot that way. It was just her instinct, knowledge, and determination. But still, months of searching, and nothing. Hope was slowly being lost. Whilst the events on Earth are somewhat progressing as expected with the exception of Gine's character being added to the Dragon Ball world, in the distant depths of space, in another part of the galaxy, a now primitive planet of Vegeta is in a state of rebuilding. The Saiyans have no technology, and they are taken back to the beginning age of their race. But with a burning fire inside them of revenge against Frieza and their army, this fire would eventually burn out because the Saiyans were too powerless to do anything. Enter the Prince of all Saiyans. Still a child, moving from planet to planet with 2 other Saiyans named Nappa and Raditz, fighting and growing stronger. Right now, they've been away from planet Vegeta for a number of years, unaware of any events taking place, enduring space battles to heighten their power and carry out the planet trade process in service of the Frieza Force.
Isn't it funny, Nappa, that we haven't heard anything from the Frieza Force or Saiyans for quite some time? Or are you too busy admiring your biceps to notice?
Ha! These are the guns that protect you, Prince Vegeta!
You know the truth when it comes to our powers, you idiot. Look, I've set our scouters on no comm output for months now, so we can't be heard or tracked. But there's been no communication coming our way either for an update. I've been testing this to see if we get noticed for suspicious activity. We've either been cut off from their transmission server by mistake, either completely out of range in this galaxy, or the worst has happened.
Raditz turns and looks at Vegeta. What? What do you mean, Prince Vegeta? Nappa butts in.
Basically, he's saying we've got this big target on our backs. Too bad for them, I've got 10 times stronger than I was last night.
As much as you irritate me with your macho bullshit, you're absolutely right, Nappa. I won't switch on our scouter tracking devices yet. It's time we set sail back home. We've grown enough. With the exception of you, Raditz. You're a complete disgrace. I should let that Cyberman over there rip that horrendous wig off yours to clean up.
Raditz looks down with low self-esteem. I'm sorry, Prince Vegeta. I'll try harder next time.
There may not be a next time, boy, but my father will be proud of the strength I have in my hands now.
Whilst en route through space in their 3 Saiyan space pods towards planet Vegeta, a tired Prince Vegeta intends to take a needed rest before getting to his home planet. Before he closes his eyes, he takes one look out through the small glass window in his space pod into the depths of the stars and planets, with his mind wondering of what's going on in the galaxy. He has a gut feeling something isn't right. But in an instant, something catches his eye through the window, something traveling at excessively high speeds far greater than the Saiyan space pod, overtaking him. He swore he saw something even for a split second, but it vanished. Was he hallucinating? He disregards it due to his tiredness. It could have been a shooting star. The Saiyan Prince rests. However, this was no hallucination. 2 important characters in the universe are heading straight towards planet Vegeta, with that being the only possible clue left of tracking down Frieza. Beerus, the god of destruction, and his mentor Whis have planet Vegeta in sight. They have searched for years in 2 galaxies for Frieza himself, with only grunts being found stationed on a variety of planets. A very repetitive process, where even Beerus gets bored and has days off at a time. But did those grunts ever spill where Frieza was? Absolutely not. To Frieza's minions, Frieza has acted so much of a tyrant to them in the past that he has carved into every minion's mind that he and his father King Cold are the strongest in the universe. So when Beerus and Whis turn up, and these minions hardly recognize them, with their scouters reading 0, not knowing its concealed power, who are they going to serve? An unknown purple cat? Or their own Lord Frieza, the monster tyrant that they know? Their first protocol is to attack Beerus with their stupidity every time Beerus confronts them about Frieza's location, which didn't end well for them. And even worse for them when a cat doesn't get its much needed nap. Things end in a planet's destruction 99% of the time, not to mention Lord Beerus's anger issues.
Lord Beerus, might I suggest not overdoing it at planet Vegeta? We have been to nearly 50 planets in the last few months, and every time you get attacked, you just wipe out the planet instantly. Have I ever taught you patience? We should find clues, and planet Vegeta is one of our last opportunities to find Frieza as quickly as possible.
Whis, I've been alive for millions of years. Do you think I'm going to learn patience now?
Oh, as you wish. Your way does indeed suit your God of Destruction title better, though.
And so, the new events of Dragon Ball are set. Beerus and Vegeta both head into planet Vegeta. What god-level interactions will take place? The mystery and motives of Frieza's location after many years. The adventures of Goku proceeding through the world of Dragon Ball. And most importantly, the quest of Gine to find Kakarot on Earth. So far, unsuccessful. How will she find Kakarot? How will she recognize Kakarot in the years to come? So many positive changes in the Dragon Ball timeline with the survival of Gine. But if these events in space continue, there will be more dangerous events as well in the Dragon Ball universe. We need to go back a few years, to a time in space among the distant stars, to the dreaded, primitive planet of Vegeta. We must not forget the nightmare of nightmares that happened on planet Vegeta that day. The day when Prince Vegeta plummeted through the atmosphere to arrive back on his home planet. Vegeta's pod smashed through the atmosphere. He had slept solid for days, his body was completely revitalized, and his new Saiyan power was pulsating through his veins. Nappa's and Raditz's space pod follows. However, what used to be the old docking station had been blown to smithereens. Vegeta caught a glimpse of the ruins of planet Vegeta's cities on arrival, and crashed into the debris in the city wasteland. The 3 Saiyans set foot on planet Vegeta for the first time in a few years.
Are we on the right planet, Vegeta?
Vegeta says nothing. Raditz appears worried. What? This can't be. Vegeta begins walking to where his father, King Vegeta, used to stay. The King's Chamber, which still looked somewhat stable, but with the damaged building almost ready to fall. Vegeta started walking into the King's Tower, looking in silence at the destroyed city as he walks, and the Saiyans, who looked morally destroyed. They looked down in their own disappointment when Vegeta walked past. Not a conversation in sight. Their pride looked completely shattered, but Vegeta did not say a word either. He just looked and absorbed everything with his own eyes. He faced this, wondering what has happened to his father and what he's doing. Vegeta did not fly to the tower. He wanted to walk, to understand this disaster, and to face it like the brave warrior he is. After nearly a 30-minute walk, Vegeta makes it to the top. Nappa and Raditz tailed behind him. The chamber door is pushed open by Vegeta. From the inside, the Saiyan Prince's silhouette can be seen emerging with a blood-red sky radiating from behind. Vegeta expects answers. Vegeta demands his father's appearance behind the door, but Vegeta gets the one answer he did not want from inside the King's chamber. As Vegeta's eyes widen with fear and the legs begin to tremble, the Prince cannot believe who he sees. Upon the King's throne sits one almighty guest, with patience wearing thin, Lord Beerus, God of Destruction.
Ah, greetings, Prince Vegeta. You finally made it home. Or should I call you King Vegeta?
Beerus's words do not unstartle Vegeta as he is too in shock.
Well, say something. Do you want me to roll out the red carpet for you?
Nappa and Raditz make it to the doorway.
Vegeta, there's hardly no food. Our equipment is What the hell is that pussycat doing sitting in the King's throne?
From behind the throne appears the tall, elegant angel, Whis.
Ah, Lord Beerus, it seems that is Prince Vegeta's personal bodyguard known as Nappa. Although he appears large in size, his power cannot be considered a threat.
Vegeta, stand back. This is a complete insult to the Saiyans. I don't know what's happening on our planet, but if this guy's responsible, it's time to take out the trash.
Lord Beerus, might I advise you to consider his loud personality?
Vegeta tries to usher a word to Nappa, but is still in complete disbelief and fear.
Nappa, don't!
Nappa's hand begins to glow with a giant purple collection of ki. It's supercharged and goes beyond the power to destroy the planet.
This planet's already destroyed. I'd be glad to take down the bastard who's responsible. And for sending the King's throne is the ultimate insult. Now, let me show you my new power. Whis, you want me to consider this fool?
Well, yes, but no, not really.
In a blinding blast, a piercing beam of energy soars through Beerus's palm and crashes through Nappa's face. The energy particles begin disintegrating his head.
No!
The beam travels in a straight perfect line through the skies and pierces the atmosphere into space. And as Nappa's body begins to fall to its knees, the gathered ki in his palm fires loose, to which the God of Destruction swiftly sees launching away and uses his other hand, takes control of Nappa's gathered ki, begins, without even making effort or expressions, condenses the ki and minimizes it to nothing. A planet-destroying blast, negated. Nappa's body falls to the ground, without being able to think. Vegeta looks at Nappa's fallen body, still in shock of what is going on. Nappa is dead.
Lord Beerus, before acting I was going to suggest neutralizing him, which wouldn't include killing him due to his unintelligent actions of potentially blowing up this planet to pieces, but you took it upon yourself. How do you feel?
I feel great. A little hungry and tired, but great. Nobody destroys a planet unless I authorize it. That idiot was Vegeta's bodyguard. I was merely testing him to see if he was suitable for the job. Clearly not. Prince, you need to open up the application process. You're in need of bigger and better protection.
Raditz cowers in the corner of the room, not saying a word.
And who might you be? You call yourself a Saiyan warrior? You're a mockery. No wonder the planet bows down to Frieza. Clearly, hardly any of you on this planet knows who I am except Prince Vegeta and King Vegeta, and with him gone, that just leaves you, Prince.
Vegeta starts pulling himself together, wondering what Beerus meant by that.
My father. Where is he, Lord Beerus? Ah, good, it seems you still have your manners, Prince. Your father is long since dead, and to make matters worse for you, it was at the hands of that bastard Frieza just before he ran off. But don't worry, I heard your father went out like the brave warrior he is. Father, no! Damn it!
A difficult tear tries to fall from Vegeta's eye, but the proud prince, hardened by his lifestyle under Frieza, restricts the sentiment of a level a regular person would react to. Vegeta stands angered, and wants revenge. Beerus explains the situation to Vegeta about what happened. Vegeta, standing like the strong warrior he is, cannot comprehend it, but manages to stand tall and face the stress and pressure. Beerus also informs Vegeta that it was himself that authorized Planet Vegeta's destruction to begin with. However, as Vegeta is utterly powerless to judge Beerus on his actions, he just listens and controls his actions of revenge. Beerus had authorized the planet's destruction due to the Saiyan planet being a toxic barbaric wasteland with toxic race of warriors who had no intention of peace and love. Beerus knew the planet had to be destroyed because of these matters. To a god of destruction, it is his duty to destroy in order for creation of better worlds to begin. This did not sit well with Prince Vegeta at this time, as his whole life has been about fighting, getting stronger, living in fear. To him, his strength was all that counted, and it was almost impossible for Vegeta to sit with Beerus' speech about Planet Vegeta being toxic to the universe. Vegeta's Saiyan pride could not be fully destroyed, even by a god of destruction. Vegeta would not forget what Beerus has done. However, Beerus decides to ask Vegeta about Frieza's location, to which is unknown even to the Saiyan Prince. The scouters they can no longer use to reach the Frieza Force, and Beerus seems to become agitated and almost slightly worried at the fact there are no links to Frieza's location. Beerus wonders how strong Frieza is becoming. He was always a strong force to be reckoned with. Beerus knew about Frieza's race potential and knew that he had the raw power to strike fear into the gods. Whis looks at Vegeta. "My lord, are we done here? Perhaps we should begin our search elsewhere."
You see, Frieza has humiliated your planet, Prince Vegeta, killed your father, and will no doubt be back for you. Do I think he will recruit you? Probably, but not for long. Not from what I've heard from some of the local Saiyans I've talked to since arriving. It seems Frieza has it in for you Saiyans. Something about a legendary Super Saiyan which Frieza feared but now wants to destroy. You're the last of the Saiyans' royal bloodline. Do you really want to die here? I won't die. I will kill. Nonsense. You're nothing at the level you're at. I may have authorized this planet's destruction, but seeing you die here today, the last of your bloodline, would be miserable, even for a god of destruction. So I'm gonna offer something to you in a one-time only deal. What do you want now?
"My lord, is this wise?"
You will become my apprentice, Vegeta, the last Saiyan. I want to see you grow into something that Frieza feared, the legendary Super Saiyan. It might even be good practice for me, too. And if that's what will draw that bastard out from hiding, then it will be a delightful surprise for him to see me turn up on the same battlefield. You've got to be kidding me! You tried to destroy my whole planet, you ignorant Sphinx! Oh, I'm not done yet. Refuse this offer and I'll blow you to Kingdom Come, along with this whole planet, and the Saiyan race will become extinct right here and now. Accept it and I'll spare your life and yours alone, the last of the Saiyans. As a god of destruction, I will carry out my duties. This planet is still pollution to the universe, and no Saiyan on this planet have good intentions for the universe. At least with you alive, you could become one Saiyan that could truly make a difference to the universe. You're sick! How dare you!
"I don't think you have a choice, Prince Vegeta." Vegeta is on the verge of attacking Beerus in a pure emotional rage, but even the prince knows that it won't be enough at this stage. Plus the fact that a great amount of fear has struck Vegeta at the same time. However, his rage suddenly pauses as Vegeta enters a brief moment of thought. A moment where it seemed that as if there was a way out of this nightmare. And Vegeta remembers his father explaining to him that he is from the royal bloodline and is destined for greatness amongst the Saiyan race. To which Vegeta knows right now what he must do, what he must endure, what he must sacrifice in order to bring balance back to the Saiyans and the Saiyan pride. Vegeta has to abide by Beerus' command right now. He has to follow the god of destruction. For now. For now. Yes. Vegeta relaxes, with a dark, yet enlightening thought going through his mind. He tells Beerus,
I want to become stronger than I ever have before. Frieza will be expecting a legendary Super Saiyan, but I won't just be bringing that to the table. I will be bringing Oblivion. Destroy this planet and let's go. In a hurry, are we, little prince? I still have a little digging to do with some local residents. You've got 1 hour to send your blessings to this repulsive planet, then be here on the hour, or you might just get caught in the blast.
1 hour. Seems you can be patient after all, Lord Beerus. Well done. Vegeta watches Beerus, and as he watches him and Whis walk past and out of the king's chamber, Vegeta just stares at Beerus with eyes of vengeance. His eyes edge towards the other side of the chamber to see Raditz, who is looking back at Vegeta with tears down his face, but beaming a cold stare of anger towards the prince for what he has just said. Raditz storms out of the chamber with unknown intentions. This day would mark the beginning of a journey for Vegeta, who is taken to Beerus' planet to begin a path of training he never thought he would undertake at his age. Right after the red planet of Vegeta begins glowing with white light from its core, with the light shattering through its crust uncontrollably, forcing the planet Vegeta to break in a bitter-sweet explosion. Instead of Frieza, it was Beerus. With Beerus believing Vegeta being the only Saiyan left, and the bait to lure Frieza out, Beerus had forgotten that Whis had already mentioned about a certain female Saiyan surviving, and this was told to him a few years ago when he woke up, and didn't find it all that of a threat at the time. Very easy to forget for a hungry, angry god of destruction. Vegeta would begin to train for a few years under Whis and Beerus, and in that time was when Gine was searching for Kakarot on Earth. Of course, it wouldn't be too long until Lord Beerus would remember being told about this female Saiyan. That could be a cause for concern. And what would Beerus' actions be once he targets this female Saiyan known as Gine? Only time will tell. Back on Earth, the tournament battle between Goku and Piccolo has reached its finale, but what Goku is unaware of is that he has been watched ever since the tournament began. Gine had missed the previous tournaments where Goku had competed in. Gine's path didn't result her in waiting for Kakarot at every tournament. She wouldn't have known. No, that would be too predictable for a story to tell, and also not set out for Gine this way. Gine's story in the Dragon Ball timeline had her searching and also learning about Earth on her travels. She used this time to progress herself. She had been accustomed to many ways of life. Gine became knowledgeable and a skilled fighter, and this is where the life of Gine becomes darker and more interesting than ever thought possible. She didn't just search aimlessly for Kakarot for years. No, that would be hopeless and tiring. Gine evolved. She evolved in herself, and for her own reasons, competing in street fights throughout all continents for years, improving her skills and entering underground battle competitions for money to live and to become more streetwise, and to see the evil and corruptness in the planet that she can fight away and battle. Gine was not interested in the world's martial arts tournament. The battles underground were far more deadly and advanced, and it helped escalate her powers quicker, so Gine left the world tournaments alone, as she was confident she could win them. But it wasn't about fame for Gine. That's another reason. Gine had also kept her tail wrapped around her, and luckily for her, the stars were perfectly aligned, and she never hit that full moon to cause destruction. You could call it luck, but Gine knew the weakness of the Oozaru form. To lose her rationality would cause far more problems. She would be known through the martial arts community and street corners as the Dark Warrior. The name applied to her by the majority of locals, fans, and surviving martial artists of the martial arts slaughter during the events of Dragon Ball. She was the Dark Warrior because she could not be tracked or defeated by the enemies at that time. She was anonymous, her death was never accounted for, and she never left a trace of herself for her enemies. Gine had changed. It was unexpected. She studied the human body and anatomy to a T. She mastered her mind and current level of training. Not to mention, during her underground fights, she had wore dark leather clothing and face paint so that no one would know who she was. She disguised her true identity. The Dark Warrior was respected, talked about, but never found or tracked. And to think Gine was the Dark Warrior, it would never have been expected. It was the perfect alter ego. But what was her motives? Her training days with Master Roshi was only the beginning, for her true progress began after that. Gine had become the master of many arts and styles. She was naturally talented, but also a hard worker, for there were a handful of other masters she studied under and learned from after Roshi. The background of Gine's training was mysterious. Gine had found motivation in her life to not just find Kakarot, but to protect others in danger. Gine became the hero that the great Saiyaman could only dream of being. But she did not do it for glory. She would do it from the shadows, because she believed in peace. A motivated mother with a passion burning shall never be underestimated. Gine's character grows. So whilst back at the World's Martial Arts Tournament Goku vs Piccolo, Gine watched the tournament unfold, having an instinct knowing that if she can become a warrior, then her son Kakarot can also find a path and become a warrior as well. It was inevitable. Gine believed that this tournament was the key to finding Kakarot, and her instincts and judgment was right. The resemblance to her fallen lover Bardock was undeniable. She could never forget his face. She's seen it every day in her mind. The time was right to know Goku was Kakarot. He had Bardock's stare when he focused. Gine's heart would pump hard with excitement and love when she knew this and saw Goku. She knew this was him when she looked at him in the tournament fights, but she stayed and watched. Once Piccolo had left the battlefield and the events of Dragon Ball were about to close, the presence of Gine would now unveil. But not until Goku had settled himself with Chi-Chi and the birth of their baby Gohan. Once Gine knew of Kakarot and felt that Goku was Kakarot deep down, she would watch over him for over a year, watching him grow, move, speak to others, seeing her son happy with a wife and child, believing he was human and not Saiyan. He did not act like any Saiyan she ever knew. She noticed his tail was also not there. Gine would be so overjoyed that she refrained from stepping into his life at times and adding the negative, controversial emotion to Kakarot's life and his Saiyan history. Did Gine want to put that on the table for Goku now with his new family? Not yet. She was his mother, yes, but she knew Kakarot was safe. A mother's job is to also make sure her child is happy and safe, which he was. He had become a man. Gine was struggling to know how to present herself to him. But her time was now. There was Kakarot, in the woods with Gohan, both alone. This was now or never. To see her son and talk to him for the very first time. The sunlight pierces through the forest, and as Goku looks up, he sees a silhouette of someone sitting in the branches of the tree. The figure jumps out right in front of him, and Goku enters his fighting stance. Whoa! Gohan, stand back! Who are you? The figure removes the hood as it reveals the fresh-faced Gine. Goku, right? Yeah? Who are you? I'm Gine. I must say, I've watched your fights in the tournament. You've become amazing. Well, thanks, I guess. What sort of name is Gine? Sounds a little strange, doesn't it? Well, what sort of name is Goku? I'm not here for any trouble, Goku. I'm here to talk to you, actually. Goku eases up and Gohan runs to Goku's leg looking curious. That's your son, Goku? What's his name? As Gine kneels down. Gine already knew his name, but didn't want it to look creepy to them. This is Gohan. Yeah, he's my boy, alright. Is there something I can do for you? I've never seen you before. But I'm getting this feeling you're quite strong. You made me jump back there. No, it's fine, Goku. Let's walk out into the open. It's a little lonely out here. As both walk into the open, Gine had talked about her martial arts training to Goku, telling stories of Master Roshi and her underground battles, which made Goku super excited to find stronger fighters to train against. But he was so excited and interested to wonder why Master Roshi never mentioned about Gine at all. To Goku, Gine was super impressive as a fighter. Gine stopped for a moment, out in the open mouth of the forest where Goku's house could be seen from the distance. Gohan runs up to the house to see his mother, which leaves Goku and Gine alone. Goku? Says Gine. Goku asks, yeah? There is silence. Gine's eyes begin dropping a tear with her eyes closed. This is a very tough time for her, a long time coming. But Goku doesn't know what's going on. Goku says, hey, are you okay? What's wrong? Did I say something? No, I know, you must be hungry, right? Do you want me to cook you up some fish dish when we get back? You can meet Chi-Chi. She loves martial arts too. Gine says, Goku, I'm sorry I've never been there for you. I felt a coward back then. But now, seeing where we are today, it's too bittersweet. But still, please forgive me. Goku wonders what she means. I don't get it. Back then? Forgive you for what? Gine says, have you ever known where you came from? Your family? Where you were born? Goku says, well, Grandpa Gohan brought me up and said I was just laying around in the mountains. Other than that, not much to say. Gine walks to Goku, peacefully, puts a hand on his shoulder in a calm way, stares into Goku's eyes with a peaceful look. And with the tears on the side of her face starting to dry, she pulls out a loving smile and says,
You know me, Goku. I know I've never been there for you, but I've always felt close to you. Goku's eyes widen. You're... It can't be! But inside of me know it's true. You're my mum? Mum? I didn't want to tell you, Goku. You look so happy in life, and I wanted you to say it yourself and realize it, instead of me putting it on you and just saying, I'm your mother. Look, it's okay. You don't have to accept it. Gine takes her arm from Goku and turns. I can go right now if you want, and leave you, and if you don't want me in your life, I won't pressure you into anything or any changes, but you deserve to know. You deserve to know where you came from, and I deserve to see you one more time after all these years. I'll go if that's what you want. There won't be any problems and you won't see me again. Goku runs in front of Gine. No, you don't! You're not going anywhere! Mother, if you are who you say you are, then I want to know everything. Trust me, I've had bigger bombshells dropped on me in my life. The fact that you said you're my mother, and even my instinct is telling me it's true. It's the best news ever! You've really made my day. Gine replies, Really? You're okay with seeing me? You bet! So now, we're having dessert to go with our lunch, and I know the perfect girl who can bring us some dessert. Bulma, she's great and knows so much, but makes one heck of a cheesecake. Gine smiles. She smiles and happily laughs. Gine feels fulfilled at this moment. She will never, ever forget it, and neither will Goku. And so, Gine walks with Goku to his home to meet Chi-Chi and Gohan, with Goku absolutely overjoyed that his mother has entered his life in a warming way. The challenging years of Gine's surge has come to a close as she has found her son. She would tell Goku everything, and even about his name Kakarot. And though this was the end of the search for Gine, she knew about her next mission that was always in the back of her mind. The journey of her life has only reached its next chapter. For heading to Earth at this exact minute is someone who was thought to be dead, forgotten about, someone who Gine wanted to find next, but didn't have the ability to do so. For in this timeline, he is not arriving on Earth to recruit Kakarot for the Saiyans, he is heading to Earth to find his family. The Saiyan named Raditz is almost at Earth. What has Raditz been through all these years without being at the side of Vegeta? How did he survive Planet Vegeta's slaughter at the hands of Beerus? What does he want? Gine acknowledges Kakarot as Goku to show respect to his own life and upbringing. But Goku has also respect for his mother Gine and his origins as a Saiyan. Gine had told Goku everything from her arrival on Earth to his father's death, even about Frieza and his reign of terror. But what Gine did not know was that Planet Vegeta was now destroyed by the hands of Lord Beerus, God of Destruction. Goku is in shock and realizes what his mother has been through. He tells her everything about his life, and they are now both up to speed. They live tranquil lives for the next few months, enjoying their time as mum and son, making up for lost time, and for Gine to get to know Gohan, her grandson. Gine was near her 40s at this point, but still in a top physical condition, and she and Goku would spar and work out from day to day, getting stronger, as Goku had never fought someone as strong as Gine. Even the evil Piccolo was not at her level, but Gine would almost be holding back against Goku. As skilled as a fighter Goku was, training under a number of masters, Gine had also done the same, and was even better. She had already been trained under the wing of all of Goku's teachers, Kami, Korin, Roshi. It's almost like Goku was reliving Gine's journey, like mother, like son. She would live near Goku in another house which was created through the help of Bulma and her Capsule Corporation technology. Gine had settled in and got to know all of Goku's friends and family. The timeline of Goku progresses as normal at this point, with the inclusion of his mother Gine. However, as the months progress, and both Gine and Goku appear happy in life, Gine approaches Goku during the nighttime in the open plains, just past their house, and requests his help. Goku, I need your help. What is it, Mom? You remember your brother I told you about a while back? Yeah, Raditz, right? Yes. I feel he needs our help. He's out there. I can feel it deep down. Even though it's been all these years, I just know he's gone back to Planet Vegeta or is out there nearby the planet. But I can't search alone. That's why I need your help on this. And I know it's going to be a great sacrifice for a while, but you're the only one who can help me right now. Mom, you know I'll do anything to help you and my brother. I've accepted the fact I'm a Saiyan, and that there's a whole planet out there and other Saiyans who are just like us. Maybe some not as good as the others, but from what you told me, there are some good souls out there. I'm here to help. If you need to, I can get... Both say,
Bulma at the same time, as they are aware of her technological capabilities to help them get to planet Vegeta. Or so they think. Goku and Guinea spend the entirety of 3 weeks prepping the spaceship with Bulma for the purpose of going to planet Vegeta and finding Raditz. It's a long shot, but they're willing to try. Guinea mentions that it would be the most dangerous mission they've ever done because they may come across Frieza. Over the last few months, Goku and Guinea have been training with one another through intense sessions and practice, and even though Goku was approximately quadruple the strength he was at the original beginning of Dragon Ball Z, they would both be zero match for Frieza and his forces if they encountered them. But Guinea wanted to find Raditz first, and then hopefully the other Saiyans who can help, which is why she asked Bulma for additional capsules for space transport in case others would leave with her. For Guinea, she was a pure, kind-hearted person, maybe even more than Goku. However, she had a thirst for vengeance more than anybody, seeing Bardock die before her eyes and her Saiyan race almost destroyed with her son missing for years. Guinea had an inner demon of power ready to be unleashed for all the hell Frieza put her and the others through. Goku would be a tremendous help on this mission as he had become very strong. He would also ask Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu and Roshi to go with him and Guinea, to which they all arrived at Capsule Corporation the morning of the space launch, only for a few of them to decide that they would not be suited for quite a dangerous mission. However, Yamcha volunteered to go in the end, to help his friend Goku find his brother. Tien, Krillin, Chaozu and Roshi would stay behind in case Piccolo ever showed back up and try to hold him off as best they could. The problem for them was, Piccolo had gotten very strong and had perfected his special beam cannon ready to kill Goku. He would be extremely difficult for Krillin, Tien, Chaozu and Roshi, but nonetheless, the teams were set up to help the Saiyan and human race together. Bulma would teach Guinea the controls of the spaceship, as Guinea was the more technically sound of the three who were going. Goku says, "Hey Bulma, does this spaceship have a training area?" Bulma says, "Yeah, on the bottom floor. It even has gravity implementations too, but don't let your guard down because if it goes too high you may be crushed to death, Goku." Yamcha says,
"Awesome, maybe just ×2 for now, but I'm sure we can get stronger, Goku. I need to catch up so bad."
Bulma says, "But guys, remember, the journey may take over 10 days based on the research I gathered of the planet Vegeta's coordinates. The database didn't detect any planet Vegeta on the new update, which is weird. But from previous files I uploaded, it should be at the location programmed in the spaceship's mainframe. Just push the button and it should take you to where the planet is supposed to be." Guinea says, "Thank you, Bulma. I can't ever repay you for this. You've been an amazing friend. When I'm back, we will sort something out." Bulma says, "Hey, don't sweat it. You're Goku's mom. He's helped me enough times. Just go get your son back and hurry home." I'd rather use my fists to change the future. Yamcha says,
"Whoa, Goku, your mom is a pure badass. You sure get your strength from her."
"You said that, right?" Guinea steps up. "Okay guys, let's do this." The teams are ready, but an enormous sound crashes through the skies to where the atmosphere bursts and a space pod plummets towards the planet. The space pod thunderously crashes into the open field near the gang, leaving a crater of damage. Everyone is shocked and runs towards the crater. They all stand around it, and it appears to be a Saiyan space pod. Goku says, "Guys, guard up, we've got company." But Guinea has a gut feeling of who it is. After nearly 2 decades, a tall, muscular man, looking battle-worn, steps out from the Saiyan space pod, wearing broken battle armor and faded scars, legs exposed, long black hair and a scouter. It is the Saiyan called Raditz. Raditz is here on Earth. The beep on his scouter kicks in, and Raditz is aware of multiple beings standing around the crater. "So, this is the welcoming party. Is this going to be the day I land on a planet where someone actually says hello?" Goku looks puzzled, but begins sensing the enormous power of Raditz. Even to Goku's new standards, Raditz just soars above. Guinea looks down towards Raditz. She does not know if she wants to be overjoyed or worried, because Raditz looks incredibly intimidating and assertive. Raditz jumps above the crater and slowly turns, assessing each person until he comes across Guinea. He stops. He stares into her eyes. His face begins loosening up, to which Guinea smiles anxiously. "Mother, is that you?" "Yes, it is, Raditz." "I can't believe it. I had almost given up. And yet here you are." Raditz slowly lowers himself and lands near Guinea. "Raditz, you look like hell." "I've been through worse than hell.
and come out the devil's favorite son, Mother. Goku walks up to Raditz. You're Raditz? And here we were just about to come and find you. I'm Goku. Nice to meet you. Mother, please excuse the mess I am. The scars on this body are through the pain I've suffered from the cold-blooded hands of Vegeta. Goku says, What? The planet did that to you? Gine steps up. No, you mean the Prince Vegeta, right, Raditz? That's right, Mother. Vegeta is no longer our prince. He's a traitor. We've lived a lie all of our lives because of that spineless coward. Raditz tells Gine and Goku about the events nearly 20 years ago on planet Vegeta, with the likes of Vegeta leaving with Lord Beerus after authorizing the destruction of their homeworld. Raditz tells Gine of how he escaped planet Vegeta thanks to a little help from a friend that day before the planet was destroyed. A long old friend of Bardock and Gine called Potatoro, who saw the crying boy Raditz in the streets of Vegeta. And that day, he informed him that his mother Gine had left a long time ago through the wastelands of Vegeta towards a cave. Potatoro was the only Saiyan that Gine informed of where she was going, hoping that one day Potatoro would find Raditz and give him the message to follow her path. She always knew Raditz was in danger with Vegeta somehow. Raditz was guided to the cave where the one final Saiyan space pod remained, the one brought there by Bardock, and with coordinates set for Earth already installed. This was the only clue Raditz had of where his mother could have been. Potatoro was the most loyal friend, that he even knew of the space pod for a while but never took it to save himself. He waited for Raditz to return home. Potatoro was one of the most humble, kind-hearted loyal Saiyans that Gine told Goku about, as he watched the distressed, crying Raditz leave in a Saiyan space pod to this destination Earth, just as the explosion of planet Vegeta engulfed him and the planet, wiping out everyone and everything on it. Raditz witnessed the whole thing from the window of his pod. The betrayal of Vegeta, the death of his race, the destruction of the planet. Raditz would never forget this for the rest of his life. However, with Raditz just barely escaping the wrath of the planet's destruction, came a horrible price. The Saiyan space pod was damaged and hit off course during the escape, to which Raditz had no control over. The space pod was sent into a different direction, through endless space, where Raditz drifted alone for days, with barely enough resources to eat in the side compartment of the pod. The pod drifted and drifted, until one day it hit a planet in the middle of nowhere, where the pod crash-landed, completely damaged, making Raditz stranded there. The planet was the most repugnant of all, but the air was breathable. It was the planet that only some would refer to this day as Planet Vampa. From there, the tales of Raditz are still a mystery, but for now, Raditz is with his mother and brother. The family are reunited, and the moment is savoured amongst the rest of the friends there near Capsule Corp that day. This moment would be treasured forever as the winds begin to change. The pressure in the air intensifies, for what seemed to be a fitting family reunion has now turned into a nightmare of nightmares for Raditz. As a presence could be felt over on the path a few meters away, a terrifying voice is heard. The voice promptly asks, "How touching. So you're the Saiyan named Raditz that's been a pain to find all these years." "Oh no, please, don't bow down to me. Bow down to your prince." "So tell me, Raditz, it's pretty obvious that you've been training. I want to see what you've learned. Do you want to die now, or after your mother over there? Either way, it will be the death at the hands of a god." Outside Capsule Corporation, to the small grassy area on one side, stands Gine, Raditz, Goku, Bulma, and a few of the other heroes. On the other side stands Beerus, Whis, and Vegeta, who looks extremely conditioned and ready for battle. Vegeta wears an outfit similar to his old Saiyan-style armor, but with the logo of Whis. Vegeta steps in front of Beerus. "So, Raditz, now that we're face to face again, I think it's time to end this little game of cat and mouse." Raditz replies, "After all these years, Vegeta, I'm still here. I'll never forget the day you turned on the Saiyans." Vegeta replies with a sarcastic laugh. "Betrayed the Saiyans? You have no clue what you're babbling about. Just look at me. I am a god, and you are nothing." Raditz doesn't take this lying down. He says, "That's what you think. For nearly 20 years, you've been looking for any remaining Saiyans to eliminate as part of your godly deal with that creepy cat over there. And for 20 years, you failed to destroy me. Beerus butts in. To be fair to the former Saiyan Prince, he's actually managed to group the last of you remaining Saiyans in one pile. He's one step closer to fulfilling his training and becoming a future god of destruction. I'm sorry, this little family reunion is touching and all, but a god's duty comes first. Vegeta, make this count and don't leave any Saiyans left over. Whis replies to Beerus' actions.
Ooh, very stern, my lord. I'm going to take a look around on this earth before we possibly leave this place in ruins. I may find something I fancy first. I saw some delicious images on the billboards over there.
Whis heads off and scouts the planet's luxuries, leaving Vegeta ready to make his move. Raditz, you know it really pains me to do this. Vegeta's eyes stare into Raditz's eyes, with the sense that he is trying to tell Raditz something. The stare has comfort and sorrow, not fear. But it was not the time or place for Vegeta to speak to Raditz about anything he had planned, or he too will face Beerus' wrath. Right then, Vegeta, destroy him, and make it quick. Yes, Lord Beerus. Vegeta dashes towards Raditz and floors him with a lightning-fast right hook to the face, causing him to crash into the ground. Vegeta looks quickly at Goku and Gine. If I were you, I'd get back before your pitiful little limbs get snapped in half. The Z-Fighters step back and realize the power Vegeta is presenting is monstrous. But this wasn't even Vegeta's power to the fullest. He had been training nearly 20 years under Whis and Beerus. There has to be more power. Raditz starts getting up. Nice one. Problem is, Vegeta, you think I'm the same old weak Raditz. You have no idea what I've been through over the last 20 years. Vegeta replies, Do show and tell, Pipsqueak. I can feel your power now. It's as weak as ants. Don't even make me tap into my god form. Raditz positions himself into a power-up stance and begins raising his power. The area begins shaking to the sheer shock of everyone. Vegeta looks on, without being too surprised. Beerus yawns at this power-up. However, Raditz says, You think you're the only one with secrets, Vegeta. I too have learned to hide my power. Raditz's power begins soaring even higher, to which Vegeta realizes he will have to tap into a higher power to match it. Raditz keeps increasing his power, and Beerus says, Interesting. His raw power has gone through the roof. Although, I don't think it's any challenge for godly power that Vegeta possesses. Over the last 20 years, Raditz had escaped planet Vegeta and became a resident of the repugnant planet Vampa. Throughout his time on planet Vampa, Raditz was forced to grow stronger through survival, and also through a motivation unlike nobody ever thought Raditz would have. A motivation for revenge on Vegeta. Throughout Raditz's life on Vampa, he had managed to fix his Saiyan space pod, and was able to travel through the galaxy incognito, hiding from the Frieza Force, hiding from Vegeta, until he became stronger enough to overpower the ones that had put him and his Saiyan race through hell. Raditz was proud, and had encountered Vegeta numerous times on his travels, where Vegeta had managed to corner Raditz. Vegeta was always leagues above Raditz to begin with, and with training with Beerus made Vegeta devastating to fight, and Raditz was only ever able to barely escape, barely alive each time. Did Vegeta let him go at will? Nobody really knows yet, but it was all to fulfill the training of Beerus. And now, we have come to this day. It has been 7 years since their last encounter in space. There is no going back now. Raditz is going all out. But, what kept Raditz in the game, should you ask? Raditz has always been revered as one of the weaker Saiyans. What is making Raditz this strong? There has to be some reason why Raditz's power is raising the eyebrows of both Vegeta and Beerus. This isn't normal. The answer to that question is the answer in which the former Prince of all Saiyans would fear for the rest of his life. With Raditz's power soaring higher than ever before, shaking the planet, its aura powers through the solar system and the galaxy as if it was a sign for help, a signal to be heard, and to Vegeta's fear, he who felt it is very close by. He is coming. Vegeta shouts, "You idiot! Are you just going to keep powering up, or are you ready to fight? I'll make it quick and painless." Vegeta's power radiates the red glow, his aura gives off the power of a god, and Vegeta becomes something nobody has ever seen before. Vegeta has become a god, a Saiyan god. Through his training with Beerus, Vegeta had obtained the form many would notice as Super Saiyan God, but this would just be referred to as the God form. Vegeta had never achieved Super Saiyan through his years training with Beerus. He had been solely training in the style of Whis and Beerus, managing his ki control and fueling his god level power. Vegeta is ready. Raditz finally reaches his maximum level of power in his base form, which is monstrously high. In fact, it is galaxies above the Raditz from the original timelines. But it may not be any match for the power of Vegeta in his god form. But still, a shocking power-up nonetheless. Beerus shouts, "Destroy him!" Vegeta attacks and Raditz braces himself. The two scuffle, but it's clear that Vegeta is toying around with Raditz, as Raditz tries his best to use techniques to hit Vegeta off his game. However, Vegeta is a calculated tactician, and he always is a step ahead of Raditz. Vegeta hits on Raditz and smashes him to the ground. The god level power is far too great, and Raditz is bleeding from his mouth due to the impact. Raditz gets up and flies out to the wasteland area so no one gets hurt in the city area. Vegeta chases him down and elbows him to the back, forcing Raditz into the mountain, which crumbles upon him. The others follow, and Gine looks at her son getting pulverized by the former Saiyan Prince. Vegeta punches, kicks, and smashes Raditz's body all over the canyon for minutes non-stop. Vegeta then stands above a bloodied Raditz. Gine wants to step in, but Goku stops her, knowing there's nothing she can do. Beerus looks over at Gine.
"So this is the Saiyan woman I saw in my dream all those years ago. Something is odd. It's not like I can forget it. It's like it was a warning at the time. But why is she a warning? Does it have something to do with Frieza? That bastard. I have no idea where he is or how strong he's become."
Vegeta looks down at Raditz and whispers, "Sorry, Raditz. I truly am, but it's the only way I can stop that bastard from destroying our homeworld. There was never any way for me to explain this to you without him being over my shoulder. I'll avenge our people. Mark my words. But only when I get the strength." Vegeta then raises his voice. "Die! Next will be your mother and brother." He shouts this to make it look like he's fulfilling Beerus's duty. Raditz shouts out, "Vegeta! One last thing. You say this as if it's the only way, but you're wrong. Do you think I'd risk coming here so you could kill my family? You're so caught up in trying to justify right in what you've done that you've forgotten the most important part of your birthright." Vegeta asks, "And what is that?" Raditz replies, "That you were never the strongest Saiyan." Vegeta's eyes widen with fear, and the atmosphere cracks with thunderous sounds of a space pod heading towards Earth. Raditz looks up. "Finally, you made it, you big crazy dog." Beerus watches as the pod hits the Earth's wastelands nearby and is confused about who it could be. Vegeta jumps away from Raditz. Vegeta shouts in fear, "Beerus, get back!" Raditz manages to roll over as Gine and Goku head over to check him. Raditz says, "They think I've been on my own all these years, crying myself to sleep. They were wrong. I wasn't the only one training. I got stronger with somebody else, who also has the same burning desire for revenge against that prince up there." "That's right, Vegeta. Now you've done it. This is a game of cat and mouse, all right, but you've always been the mouse." Beerus says, "What on earth is he babbling about, Vegeta? And what is this other space pod?" Huh? Beerus looks over at the man who has surfaced from the crater. Vegeta's face drops. It is no man. It is a Saiyan. By the heavens, it is Broly. Raditz laughs. "Hey, Beerus, Vegeta, fuck your god power."
Broly rose from the Saiyan space pod. And this was when God Vegeta launched a furious assault against him. Unlike the Broly in the regular timeline that just trained alone with his father from time to time, this Broly had sparred daily and trained hard against a motivated Raditz. And together they both grew strong, but Broly, being the beast that he was, grew even stronger, making God Vegeta's attacks bounce off Broly in his base form. Vegeta was no match, and it was then when Vegeta finally realized who Broly was, and what his father King Vegeta had done years ago. Gine, Goku and the others stood apart from the giants in battle. Broly didn't even have to raise his power or transform to send Vegeta crashing to the ground. He was a formidable opponent who learned much from Raditz over the years, and his combat skills were slightly more polished than before. And Broly was just starting his youthful prime age, similar to Vegeta. In a glorious battle between God Vegeta versus Broly, Broly was becoming increasingly stronger as he fought, which caught Beerus' attention. How can pure, raw power be able to stand up to godly energy? The answer to that question is simple, and Vegeta began to think the same. That God Ki is not the be-all and end-all. With Vegeta's true intentions still hidden from Beerus, he knows he was in a terrible situation. Is it now that Vegeta gives the call? For the Saiyans to stand together and face the God of Destruction? Will they believe Vegeta? Are they strong enough to face Beerus? Raditz can see Vegeta starting to back away from Broly, and the look in his eye informs Raditz that Vegeta is trying to get his attention. But Raditz doesn't know the full story just yet, and could not act. However, Broly steps up again, with an anger ever so slightly surfacing, an Akari transformation begins. Broly's rage begins to grow from the surge of adrenaline in battle, and he is beginning to lose control. To everyone's shock, Broly's power ascends. Vegeta looks on. Vegeta knows Broly has gone above anything Vegeta is capable of dealing with right now, and the problem for Vegeta now is trying to rationalize with Broly to get him on his side. But out of nowhere, Beerus steps in and confronts the ascending brute. With his own joy for battle and facing strong opponents, Beerus takes it upon himself to face the ever-growing Broly, and with bare minimum effort, sends Broly crashing into the canyons beyond with a thrusting elbow. A deadly God of Destruction elbow. Everyone looks in pure shock, especially Vegeta, who cannot believe what level Beerus is at, as Beerus never showed his true potential before. Vegeta knows he is not even close in God form, and begins to think, can anyone stop Beerus? But from the rubble, an explosive blast erupts, and Broly launches himself back at Beerus. Beerus is able to manage Broly blow for blow, but the look in Beerus' eyes has concern that Broly is learning as he fights, and keeps on increasing in power. He realizes he may have to end Broly's life here, right now, before he unlocks further potential to be a nightmare. Broly's power and rage grows stronger, and Beerus can see that he is becoming out of control. Everyone looks on, and even Raditz has not seen the side of Broly in all the years of their training together. This is beyond Raditz's expectations, and so, Raditz gives the warning that the planet is in danger of destruction from both of these fighting, maybe even more. It is during this time of distraction that Vegeta confronts Raditz. Vegeta powers down and explains everything to Raditz that he can, the destruction of their homeworld, the training and reason he went with Beerus. Gine and Goku also listen, whilst Beerus is busy holding off the raging Akari Broly. The remaining Saiyans understand where Vegeta was coming from, and the 20 years of pain and suffering of Raditz suddenly explodes in an emotional punch to Vegeta's face, knocking him straight to the floor, with Vegeta knowing he deserved it. But with the Saiyan Prince rising back up, he tells them all that this is the only way to avenge the Saiyans now, that they must take down Beerus, and Broly is the key in helping do this. Vegeta can see it. This was it. As emotionally complex and escalating as the situation was, Raditz and Goku, the brothers, are up for fighting alongside Vegeta, but know it is absolutely too dangerous to get involved. But Gine steps in and reminds all of them of their Saiyan pride, and what they are truly fighting for. Gine gives a speech to the remaining Saiyans to motivate them, and knows this is the last stand of the Saiyans to fight back as the warrior race they are. Not to just avenge the planet for what Beerus did, but more towards getting stronger as warriors, to never back down, and telling them her goal in finding Frieza, who originally put the planet in slavery and wants to bring justice to that evil being for his evil ways. Gine tells the Earthlings to get far away from the area as possible for safety, which leaves only Goku, Raditz, Vegeta and Gine. Broly's power continues surging, but Beerus looks like he is barely trying, and he knocks Broly down once again, which almost looks like a complete knockout. Broly's Akari form begins diminishing, and he is sent flying into the canyon and half knocked out. The canyon dust rises, and Broly cannot be seen, but out from the flank launches Raditz, who is there to protect his longtime friend Broly. Raditz launches a barrage of ki blasts and manages to punch Beerus, but Beerus knows his efforts are pointless. So he intercepts and smashes Raditz with a lightning fast strike, causing more blood to come out of Raditz's mouth, and his damaged body already begins to fall. Raditz is grabbed by the throat by Beerus, and the God of Destruction begins to see red, and decides to kill the remaining Saiyans here for their repulsive behavior. This is stopped immediately, as from behind comes a thunderous wave of God energy from the Saiyan Prince Vegeta that directly hits Beerus, but not Raditz, and it sends Beerus crashing into the crater it's created. What a hit! Vegeta's stand is now, this is it, the Saiyan Prince confronts his master, the being that destroyed his homeworld. The misconception that Vegeta never cared about his Saiyan pride and heritage is wrong. It meant more to Vegeta than anything else. It's what has driven him since he was a child. Revenge for his home, to destroy Beerus and Frieza. But Beerus rises, and the purple god aura shines more powerful than ever, as he is ready for war against the Saiyans. Beerus is not happy with Vegeta's attack, but somehow knew it was going to come to this in the long run. Beerus was smart. He tells Vegeta how he's waited for this day to test his protege. But first he must make an example out of the Saiyan race and show Vegeta why it is his duty to exterminate them. Beerus looks over to the bloodied Raditz on the floor, and in a sudden blinding beam of light, Beerus blasts Raditz through the heart with his god energy. Raditz's eyes widen with pain and then begin to close, slowly. Vegeta lowers himself in despair, cannot believe in what Beerus has just done. Goku runs over to Raditz with concern, who is followed then by Gine. Beerus begins floating in the air, and he watched the Saiyans gather as if they were ants, and he begins charging an enormous energy ball to finish them all off together. Raditz calls for his mother Gine, and Gine is there with Raditz slowly dying in her arms. A tear rolls down her eye, knowing it's all too familiar to years ago with Bardock. Raditz mentions at least he got to see her one more time. And as Raditz's hand tries to touch Gine's face, it falls to the dirt in emptiness. Raditz dies in his mother's arms, and Gine feels this is her fault for sending her son to his death. Goku is in disbelief at everything happening so fast. He could see there was no other choice. Beerus was there to kill them. Seeing his brother for the first time he can remember as well, and having him die right in front of him. Beerus' attack is ready, and he is about to launch the blast to eradicate the Saiyans. But a power unlike no other begins to rise and explode beyond anything Beerus has ever felt before. From the canyon behind, a legendary energy is felt. And what pressure! What a terrifying feeling it is. As he had been knocked back into a sensible frame of mind by Beerus, he could see and feel from a distance the death of his longtime friend Raditz. And this was the trigger. The blazing energy radiates the skies as a powerful transformation began. The skies darkened, and the heavens shook. Broly was becoming a Super Saiyan in the death of Raditz. For the first time in 1,000 years, the first Super Saiyan was emerging, and his name was Broly. The awesome power of Broly is felt, and Broly's eyes begin changing, and his hair starts to lift, and his power grow. The anger and rage felt is relentless. Broly is almost there, and Beerus knows that he better think about sending this energy ball Broly's way first, as he is going to be a massive problem for the God of Destruction, and Beerus knows it. But before he makes a swift decision, something else has just happened. Something unexpected. A second power. Another surging level of power had already began roaring from the other direction, in the distraction from Broly's power rising and overflowing. Beerus only noticed it as he was too busy looking at Broly's radiated power. This second power had been locked and suppressed for over 20 years. And now, after seeing her son die in her arms, was the straw that broke the camel's back and had made her snap. Her emotions blazed the skies with raging passion and love. It is Gine. It is her who was transforming too. Gine's clear, harmless eyes of love become filled with rage, anger, and revenge, and drive. And the fear was gone. She was no longer the scared housewife or distressed mother. Her hair soared up, following with a golden explosion, which surrounded her body with a golden aura of the Super Saiyan. Her power and love had beaten Broly to the punch, as Broly had now just finished the same transformation. The first Super Saiyan in 1,000 years was not Broly, it was Gine. The real Gine has been born, but something was different with Gine's transformation. It wasn't a regular Super Saiyan transformation that would give a normal Saiyan a battle advantage. This was something else. The transformation of Gine had more meaning than the Super Saiyan we knew. The other addition of this for Gine was that her Saiyan aura and hair would begin flashing to various colours of the rainbow every few seconds, but then return back to gold. Super Saiyan Gine was the beginning of much more to come, and Beerus with his destructive energy ball now hovers in between two Super Saiyan warriors, both with the same thirst of blood, both with pure, raw power, and one of which is going to start causing major problems for Beerus. But the question is, who? What is this other multicolored aura and hair that pulses through Gine's Super Saiyan form? We are about to find out. There she stands, mysteriously, in an aura never seen before. The aura can only be described as a combination of different variants of ki. The colours alternated with other colours symbolising potential power not known yet. It started flaring, but then the rainbow colours began to disappear. It no longer looked like just flashing colours of the rainbow, but the aura started taking a brighter look, appearing more of a sparkling diamond of energy than a rainbow, more angelic and godly. What happened to Gine? Where has this bright angelic Saiyan aura come from? She's just a mere Saiyan who apparently has just obtained a regular Super Saiyan form. Where has the rest of this secret diamond-looking energy aura come from? But Beerus looks at Gine and laughs. His godly power and experience fears not this Saiyan power, which he can easily make do with, for he has trained Vegeta for years and knows the extent of the god power within Saiyans. And in a woman like Gine, who has no godly training, he doesn't consider this a problem, but still has an interest in the form she has undergone. Super Saiyan? Such a mere power-up, an emotional waste, claims Beerus. Only god power matters. The concern Beerus has is the beast to his left, Broly, whose raw power begins soaring even further beyond. Broly's Super Saiyan rage after seeing Raditz dies begins going as high as Beerus' power currently, with just pure raw power, and Beerus' face starts dropping, realizing that it may not all be about God Ki after all. Beerus smiles, knowing full well he's waited millenniums for this type of challenge. So be it. Come and get it. He launches his powered up Hakai energy ball at Gine. Nice try, woman. You're not a part of this fight. The Hakai energy hits and engulfs Gine as Goku looks on in shock, shouting in distress at the apparent death of his mother. Broly storms at Beerus and the thunderous battle commences. Punches, kicks, uppercuts, ki waves, dimensional tearing, evenly matched at this point, but Broly's power rises as the fight continues, with seemingly no limits. Vegeta looks on in complete and utter helplessness.
He tells Kakarot that it's time to go. The planet is not safe. Either die here in the ruins or live to fight another day, Kakarot. But Goku refuses. No! Mother! My friends! Family! Chi-Chi! Gohan! All of his friends and family live here, but Goku knows it is not possible to help at this stage. Goku is not even in the same book of power as everyone around him. The dimensions continue to tear, and suddenly the Hakai energy which had apparently vaporized Gine begins sizzling. The silent Gine, with her fluctuating angelic aura of mystery, walks out a meter from the Hakai energy, and so the purple destructive energy begins radiating in her aura as if it had become one, adding the essence to her current power. What the hell are you? You're just a low-level Saiyan, with no god training, just a weak Saiyan who grew up on another planet. How have you destroyed Beerus' destroyer energy without any effort? The fight between Broly and Beerus continues, and he knows he must end this fast, or he may indeed get overpowered. The planet can't hold on with the ever-rising level of ki shaking the planet like a rag doll. Whis teleports back onto the battlefield. Oh my, I should get back to work. This isn't quite fair for the civilization here. Whis begins to seal the tears and stabilize the planet and tells Beerus, My lord, I think it's time to wrap things up with the Saiyan Juggernaut, before his power ignites and takes the universe with him. Now is the time to do it. Beerus' eyes close, reopen with a silver glow. Behold, Beerus begins to show the mastery of himself. His true form, Ultra Instinct Beerus. And so, Broly's punches start becoming nothing, not even one hit. And Beerus is able to negate and counter everything Broly sends his way, blast after blast, and Broly begins raging beyond and starting to reach his body's physical limits at this point. He can't compete with the precision and mastery of Beerus' Ultra Instinct. And so, Beerus decides to form the finishing touches to the battle. A coordinated attack, which Broly cannot even see, strikes, chops, cuts, slashes to every part of Broly's body, and at the same time, Broly's body explodes with blood blasting from every wound. He screams in agony. Broly falls and his rage burns out. He is in a severe, life-threatening way, helpless on the floor in his base form once again, slowly fading away. That was necessary. Consider your planet lucky in this case. I think that's enough for today. But Gine was no longer there. Beerus' Ultra Instinct remains active, as he looks in complete control, ready to deal the finishing strike to Broly. And so, 100% Ultra Instinct Beerus swipes his claws and sends a concentrated beam of energy towards Broly's dying body. The blast tears at the area it hits. Only that area, which won't affect the rest of the world, until it shreds everything in its energy. One less Saiyan to complete the original duty of destruction. But he looks again. It can't be! Gine stands on the mountain rocks nearby with Broly underneath her. She managed to snap and grab him and take him to safety whilst remaining undetected by Beerus and even Whis. Whis looks at her. A Saiyan woman? The one spared? The one who will intervene? Is that her? Beerus replies. Nonsense, Whis. She was nothing to begin with and she's nothing now. It has to be her lucky day. But I've already worked out my next 300 moves I'm going to use on her in succession. That's how well I've mastered Ultra Instinct. I've set up and seen the battle before it's even begun. Gine kneels down. She looks down at the suffering Broly and closes her eyes, and she places her palm on his shaking back. A healing aura begins saving Broly's life, and slowly he enters the world with a sense once again. Gine says, Rest, child. This fight is no longer yours to endure. Broly's mind and body become perfectly in harmony, absolutely no rage inside, and so he begins heading back towards his own space pod to leave the planet. Whis says to Beerus, It seems like she has a familiar presence to someone we already know, my lord. This was the vision I had before awakening you years ago. The double-edged prophecy of the multiverse is starting to happen. She will be the one to either bring balance to everything, or shatter the equilibrium itself. Beerus looks at Whis in confusion. You're not serious. This Saiyan is part of that prophecy? I've heard of legends, stories, and all that sorts. But this one is one of the biggest myths of all, Whis. You should know that. We know the hierarchy ends with the Omni King, with the Grand Priest the only one capable of outdoing you and your siblings. I'll finish her now, and continue my duty as God of Destruction, followed by Vegeta and that one they call Goku. But first, that fool leaving in the space pod. Die, Saiyan! Beerus blasts at Broly's pod, leaving the atmosphere. He aims to kill the tamed Saiyan brute, but Gine intervenes once again and places her hand aiming at Broly's pod, shielding it with a distant barrier of her glowing power. It dematerializes Beerus' powerful blast, and Broly escapes planet Earth successfully. Beerus looks back at Gine, who stands there in her aura, tears rolling down her eyes, angry yet smiling. Her emotions are wavering, but she also appears calm. It made no sense. It's almost like her presence was the combination of life, energy, and matter of the universe, and could not be worked out even by Beerus or Whis. Okay, Saiyan, if you are the prophecy of this universe, it's time to pass the final test. Me, at full power. Don't worry, I'll make this quick. Gine looks up at Beerus from below and ushers the coldest statement. I am the end of your story. I will be the last of your memories. She begins to smirk with the most arrogant of grins. And your concern of finding Frieza is finally over. I have answered your prayers, former god of destruction. Gine looks straight ahead, indicating Beerus and Whis to look that way as well. And by the heavens, it cannot be. It's the tyrant himself. It's Frieza. Standing tall in the rocks, without a head, without a chance. Impaled on a giant spike in the goriest fatality, with the removal of limbs and gouging of eyes. But why? How? Beerus, Whis, Goku and Vegeta are in the utmost shock. Whis says in an alarmed voice, Who are you truly? You are not yourself, Saiyan. The great tyrant Frieza with high expectations, who had been training for years in preparation of meeting the legendary Super Saiyan and destroying Beerus himself. The monster who spared planet Vegeta for some mysterious reason in some menacing plan, has just been squashed in an instant without hesitation, without any games. And only Gine has the answer. She looks back up to Ultra Instinct Beerus and Whis. Did your Ultra Instinct read that? I have 2 more spears left. Whis says to Beerus, The stories are true. They do exist. Beerus looks at Whis with concern. Who is it, Whis? The Grand Priest? Gine begins hovering up from the earth. Her eyes are plain white. She appeared as if she had no control over who she was, as if she was someone else. But on the contrary, she appeared in full control of her power, and was expressing emotions on every level, with her tears starting to dry up. She says to Whis in a condescending voice, Don't you dare mistake me for that fool, you insolent brat. Whis is startled, but soon regains his composure. I knew it. It's you. You have returned. This is it. The field is set. The time is now. Gine stares a hole through Ultra Instinct Beerus and Whis. But Whis knows the truth. For years, thousands of years, it was considered a myth, a story that should never be told amongst the stable, peaceful hierarchy of the angels and gods. The truth was that long ago there was once an angel, not just any angel, but one far more powerful than Whis and the other angels of the multiverse. This particular angel was in the ranks of the Grand Priest, an archangel, dozens of times stronger than all 12 universal angels combined. However, this archangel was not born amongst the original angels. She was chosen. The archangel was once known as Kakara, who was originally born a Saiyan, one of the first true Saiyans that was born pure of heart, and a descendant with the bloodline linking her all of the way back to the one true ultimate god. Not Zeno. The Omni King are merely there as balance in place of the true god. There is one more god above the Omni King, and she has only ever been seen by 4 archangels. The Grand Priest, Kakara, and 2 other archangels who no longer exist. No other angel or god has seen the one true ultimate god, as she has mysteriously vanished for centuries. However, Kakara, the Saiyan descendant of the true god, was once located by the Grand Priest thousands of years ago, and she was trained, educated to become an angel, and in due time became the 4th archangel as commanded by the ultimate god. How is Kakara linked to the ultimate god? Well, it's simple. In every race in the universe, only one family tree links back to the ultimate god. One Namekian, one human, and in this case one Saiyan who was Kakara, including her children. Kakara had strength, power and wisdom beyond the Grand Priest, and the other 2 archangels due to her bloodline. But she was always looked at as an outsider by the other angels, who were born angels. The other angels sensed something inside Kakara that couldn't be trusted, and over the course of the years, they were right. Kakara was once a peaceful Saiyan, But once she became an archangel, her vision and attitude changed. She despised being treated unfairly, claiming she was being held back, and even began questioning the ultimate god. In time, she questioned and demanded that her Saiyan race be brought strength in order for them to survive and reign supreme. Kakara was indeed corrupted by the power, and a new goal in mind: to make the Saiyan race dominant and have the complete angel hierarchy as Saiyans. The Grand Priest and 2 other archangels saw the threat and decided to act as Kakara was taking matters into her own hands. After an intense battle of survival, 3 versus 1, they managed to seal and exile her, but at the cost of the other 2 angels' lives. Their spiritual essence was used to seal Kakara forever, as they didn't have the power to truly kill her. The ultimate god did not intervene. It was just before this that she vanished and created the Omni King in her place. Kakara was finally gone. However, now, thousands of years later, the spiritual energy of the 2 archangels had worn off and could not contain Kakara any longer in her seal until her fallen dark energy had surfaced again and lingered in the universe, waiting for the right time to strike. Kakara didn't have a vessel to carry out her plans and was just dark angel essence without any power, and was waiting for the right vessel to surface in order to become full power. The only way that she could take over a new vessel is if the person says yes when asked if she can host them. There has to be this agreement, because she is still an angel, albeit a dark one, and still has to abide by the angel power restrictions. But the question is, how did she claim Guinea's body as a vessel? The truth was in her offer. She offered Guinea, during her surging Super Saiyan transformation, the life of her son Raditzbach, Bardock, and to end the terror of Beerus. And in Guinea's pain and suffering, she said yes, not knowing who the voice was, but said yes in a desperation. And in doing so, Kakara's Dark Angel matter entered Guinea's body, surging Guinea's hidden power to the utmost limit, and amplifying her infinitely with her angelic powers. Guinea was now under the complete control of Kakara, whose mission is to continue making the Saiyans the dominant race, hence why she saved Broly moments ago. She intends to eradicate every other race that is a threat, like Frieza's race, the humans, Earth, and all of the gods of destruction and angels. Everything. But why Guinea? Why strike now, not years ago, when she was freed from her seal? The truth behind this reason is terrifying, for Guinea is the bloodline descending from the child of Kakara. Unbelievable. And the only way Kakara had found her now and not before was because Guinea was well off the radar. She could not locate her descendants that easy, but it was due to Beerus' battle on Earth that led the Archangel Kakara to Earth. Something was going on, and Kakara knew it. It was if it was destiny to find her bloodline once again. Her child from many generations into the future. Kakara wanted Guinea, no one else. It was the perfect time to take advantage of Guinea's vulnerability and emotional wavering, and being back inside a body with the bloodline of her one true ultimate god, Kakara was back at full power. Knowing this terrible situation, Ultra Instinct Beerus makes his intentions to attack her, but Whis says, "No, my lord, it's useless. We must wait for the assistance."
"What assistance?" shouts Beerus. "She has to be destroyed. She's a universal threat."
Suddenly, the arrival of the ultimate angel force teleport onto the battlefield. The 11 other angels from each universe along with their respective god of destruction, led by the Grand Priest. Everyone from the hierarchy are here, including Zeno. The Grand Priest states, "Apologies for the delay, Whis, but it takes a little time to notify 11 other universes to act in unison. But we came as soon as we could. I felt a slight disturbance many years ago in the angelic spectrum, but I wished it not to be true. I thought she was gone forever, and now we must unite to stop Kakara once and for all before she eradicates the entire universe, or enslaves them, putting Saiyans at the top of the mountain. That balance cannot be lost. The ultimate god may have indeed made a mistake in seeking to recruit her to maintain balance in the multiverse. Everyone, prepare to attack in full angelic force. I have lifted the consequences of angels fighting at full power in battle. You will not be erased if you use full force in these circumstances." But Kakara laughs. "Look at you and your pitiful army of weak angels. You and 2 other archangels barely stopped me, with only you surviving. Do you honestly think a bunch of ants can help just one of you stop me this time? I clearly have the advantage, brother, and Saiyans will rule. I have finally overcome Guinea's mind, and her struggling emotions have now stopped. She is mine. I own this body now, and she is locked away far deep in the burning hell of me. Goku and Vegeta can't believe what is going on. This is absolutely insane. But all angels and God of Destruction surround Kakara's blazing body of angelic power. The Grand Priest shouts, "Angels, gods, defend the multiverse! Attack and stop Kakara by any means!" And so, all angels strike in one blow, but Kakara forms an angelic barrier and deflects all 12 angels into the mountain, crashing into the dirt. The Grand Priest forms barriers with his mind, protecting Earth from the angelic impact, and also shielding the 12 angels from most of the damage from Kakara. The Gods of Destruction all attempt to use a joint God Key containment field to trap Kakara, but it is instantly vaporized with her aura. She stares at them and scans each God of Destruction with her flinching eyes, causing all of them to be severely struck in the gut with a barrage of bloody punches and slashes. They all fall to the ground in severe fatal condition, bleeding from the wounds. Kakara didn't even have to move. This is completely hopeless. The Grand Priest moves in for his fight and manages to make Kakara go on the defensive, but she is far too strong for the Grand Priest. He barely escapes the skirmish intact as Kakara started using ferocious kicks and energy blasts. The 12 angels are back to their feet and try their hand at sorcery and cloning, attempting to confuse Kakara with their magical hallucinations. It would slow her down at the very least. The Grand Priest lands next to Goku and Vegeta. Vegeta says, "I don't get paid enough for this shit." Goku says, "Man, how are we even still alive? This is one bad dream, huh? Mother, I wish I could help you." The Grand Priest says, "There is one way. Kakara has never taken over another vessel before. She was originally a Saiyan who became an Archangel, and her free dark spirit has used the angel privileges to enter a vessel at the respect of the person saying yes. Kakara may be rusty and may not have complete control yet. Guinea may still be in there somewhere, and the only way for Kakara to lose her grasp on Guinea's conscience is if Guinea's body becomes unstable and loses its rationale, giving Guinea the time to get back in the driver's seat and trapping Kakara. And it may make Kakara's essence leave the body against its will. But the truth is, I don't know how strong Guinea is, and if she can pull off such an impossible task. Which leaves us to our final trump card, Zeno! Kakara inside the vessel of Guinea shares the secret. She was the one that spoke to Frieza and persuaded him not to destroy Planet Vegeta all those years ago, talking to him through her lingering dark spirit and offering him a reward for doing such a request, for him to receive the power of the angel in years to come, to feed his thirst for power. And in doing so, it succeeded. Kakara saved her Saiyan race somewhat, and her bloodline in Guinea, ready for her comeback. But did Kakara live up to the promise given to Frieza? Absolutely not. She tricked Frieza and slaughtered him as she intended, as soon as she regained power. No other race mattered to her. And now, we return to the battlefield. The angels continue to fight, but in no hope. They quickly get maimed one by one, even the mighty Whis, who is on the ground in a weakened condition. Kakara looks in disappointment at all of the angels and gods. "This is what I get as a welcoming party after thousands of years inside a box. You all make me sick. A true example of a failed hierarchy that needs to be wiped out. I think I'll eradicate everything within each universe and start again." The Grand Priest makes contact with Zeno, who has left the battlefield and was happily playing in the park nearby Capsule Corporation. Zeno teleports into the battlefield in an instant, and out of nowhere, the Grand Priest locks Kakara in the strongest God prison lock, and he uses all of his energy in one trap to hold her, giving Zeno the perfect time to erase Kakara on the spot. The Grand Priest shouts, "Do it!" And in a blinding flash of light, Kakara vanishes, to be floating behind Zeno and decapitates him with a single dark swipe across the head. Zeno is dead. And there is complete silence on the battlefield. The angels cry, and the Grand Priest screams in pain. the dishonorable death. Kakara looks at the Grand Priest, who appears weakened from the hold. You should know full well the only ones protected from any form of erasure are the bloodlines of the one true ultimate god, and that includes this vessel. The Grand Priest struggles to say whilst on the ground. A little miscalculation, it seems. And that goes for the Super Dragon Balls as well. Any wish you grant from that beast won't do you any good. As long as my essence remains in this body, I am protected from everything, including the ultimate god. Vegeta looks at Goku. Kakarot, I'm fed up with this crap. This is meant to be my show. I came here to Earth to defeat Beerus, and look what's happened. My honor has been stolen from me. Goku says, it's over, Vegeta. There's nothing we can do now except back down. Unless you want to go down fighting like Saiyans one more time. There's no point in losing our heads over this situation anymore, right? Kakarot, you fool! What did you say? I said let's go down fighting like Saiyans. No, you imbecile. Something about losing our heads. Huh? That's it! Just what the Grand Priest said. Vegeta looks at his palm, ignites a bright light, and stares at it with a sinister look. Kakarot, your father was an average fighter, but he was a brilliant scientist. He throws the strange light into the air. Burst open and mix! Hey, what the hell is that thing? Stand back, Kakarot. It's about to get intense. The Grand Priest looks at Vegeta. It's no point. Even with that level of power, there's nothing you can do, Vegeta. Stop it! Yeah. You really think this is for me? Do you honestly think I'd set myself up for failure against a being like that? This is not for me, clown. It's for her. Gine, the Saiyan mother of Kakarot. Transform! Kakara looks directly at the bright light in the sky in replace of the brute waves of the full moon. And in an instant, before Kakara can even react, the brute waves have already entered Gine's Saiyan body and forced Gine's body into a metamorphosis into the Uzaru. Kakara's focus and mentality seem to have disappeared in replace of the ferocious grunts and roars of the transforming Gine. Kakara is paralyzed within. The vessel has become unstable, and the control she had is being lost through a natural transformation, a classic Saiyan ability. Gine's body transforms and she becomes the Golden Great Ape, with no angelic power showcasing. It's just a giant brute blasting the canyons with incredible power. Goku and Vegeta jump out of the way of the Golden Ape as it's incredibly strong. However, all angels, gods, and the Grand Priest are out of the game, completely incapacitated from being torn apart and drained by Kakara. The Grand Priest is completely drained, but says to Goku and Vegeta, her essence is still locked inside Gine. No one is inside the driver's seat anymore except the nature of the beast. Gine has to choose herself. Golden Ape Gine sits on top of the mountain in the area, finally settling down from exhaustion. Goku flies over there and walks up to his mother. Mum, are you there? Gine huffs and puffs, blowing away Goku's body off the mountaintop as if she didn't want to bother with him. Goku pulls himself up and sits next to the relaxed Golden Ape, showing no fear. Golden Ape Gine looks at him and turns her back on Goku. Goku moves and sits in front of his mother. He says, I only grew up with Grandpa Gohan. He taught me so much, and after seeing you like this, Mother, turning into this, I finally realized the truth of who I really am and why I'm responsible for why he's not here anymore. Goku begins to cry. The tears roll down his eyes, knowing it was him. He was the cause for his grandpa's death. I can't run away from who I am. I'm an Earthling and a Saiyan, and by being both, I have the most amazing family who I would die for. And one of them is you. I don't care about all these gods and angels. All of that stuff is stupid to me and doesn't mean half as much as the love I have for my family and friends. I would die for you, Mother. Goku's tears drop, and Gine's Uzaru hand moves in towards Goku's face and catches one of his tears. The Great Ape pauses and appears with a thoughtful look of realization. Gine licks the tear and begins to give a cheeky smile in her ape form. And the Great Ape stands up, moves to the edge of the mountain, and roars with the most powerful of force. Electricity surrounds the Golden Great Ape as it becomes lit in a golden glow. Vegeta dives in towards Kakarot and grabs him. Move it, Kakarot! Shit's going down! He flies Goku to safety as the ultimate transformation begins. The rationale has been reclaimed. Gine has come to her senses and is now in complete control of her Uzaru body for this moment, and in doing so, an explosion of her pure, primal power engulfs the rocky area. Behold, the great ape has vanished, and in its place is a female Saiyan with red fur, hazel eyes, and with a most stern, confident, focused look as the dust settles. It is Gine, Super Saiyan 4. Goku and Vegeta have no idea what she has become, but Goku smiles knowing he can now see the mother he knows within the eyes once again. The Grand Priest says, "Incredible. The prophecy is true after all. This is the second time I've seen this form. The Ultimate Saiyan, battle primed." But Gine's body begins glowing a fiery red aura and begins screaming at the top of her lungs. The power is ridiculously high, higher than what it should be, and in doing so, an angelic essence leaves her body and is seen afloat in midair. It's the essence of Kakara. Dazed from the metamorphosis, Whis manages to stand up and shout, "Now, Vegeta! You're the only one with the strength left to finish off her paralyzed matter. Use the technique you have developed on Beerus' planet." Vegeta positions himself and infuses all of his God Ki into a Gallic gun, creates an unearthly powered up variant which he fires. Gallic Destruction! Fire! He fires. He launches it at Kakara's matter, which lingers there with no defense, and the beam eats the essence, tearing it to nothing. There is nothing left. Kakara's dark angelic energy has been wiped from existence. The Grand Priest starts getting up. It seems that using brute force like a Saiyan is sometimes the way to go. Well done, Vegeta. Kakara's angel essence is no more. Once her essence leaves a vessel, she is as weak as a puppy. It's a good job she was dazed, as she could have escaped again. Vegeta says, all this godly crap gives me chills. I'm done with it. I want to remain among civilization from here on, and enjoy the fruits of nature. So be it. For your help, I'll ensure you never hear from Lord Beerus again. We have lost a number of angels and gods here today. There are no more debts between you and the gods. We have both taken losses. The gods and angel who remain begin sharing their energy with each other to heal. As their power begins recuperating once again, they begin gathering their fallen comrades on the battlefield to take them back to the angelic realm. But everyone begins to look on and wonder. They all ask, where is the one they call Gine? Where has the Saiyan prophecy gone? The one who brought balance? Where is the known bloodline of the true ultimate god? Everyone looks, but the battle-primed Super Saiyan 4 was gone, undetected from the likes of the Grand Priest and the other godly beings. All that was left was a torn part of her gi which laid on the floor, and Goku picks it up and looks. Gine should have just been a primal Saiyan, a Super Saiyan 4, but the Grand Priest implies, I wouldn't put it too far past the fact that because Gine's body had acquired the angelic power of Kakara for some time, that she somehow retained a level of that energy, and her primal transformation drew upon her even higher limits than what she was truly capable of before, which is a force as frightening as it is amazing. I cannot sense her. She definitely has vanished. To where I do not know. With what goal I can only hope is intended with the act of goodwill. At this time, she is in our deepest gratitude for saving us, and I will not question her motives right now, but rather leave her in peace. Angels, gods, let us leave Earth and amend what has been broken in the universe. Vegeta, I bid you farewell. Whis walks up to Vegeta along with Beerus. I know we've had some rough run-ins in the past, but I have respect for you, which is something a Saiyan should be proud of. Don't worry, you won't hear from me again, Vegeta. Vegeta says nothing in return, remaining the loyal, proud Saiyan prince that he is. Whis steps in and bows to Vegeta. You were a success in your own right. Maybe your destiny was never to defeat Beerus, but use his and my own teachings as a way to complete your own mission of importance. Like today. Goodbye, Prince Vegeta. Vegeta turns around without saying a word. He stares at Kakarot with a look as if to say, it's just us now. Goku nods and realizes he can trust Vegeta. Just before the Grand Priest teleports with everyone to leave, he turns back and says to Vegeta, and don't forget to look after that one. He's just as important as his mother. Vegeta looks at Goku realizing what he's just said, and he smiles. No problem. I could use a rival to keep my strength high. Better start hitting the push-ups, Kakarot. Goku replies, fine, we don't want that Broly guy turning up going crazy again, so I'll get stronger than both of you. And so, after years of stories and legacies, paths being crossed through fate and sheer luck, the universe is finally at balance. The Earth remains protected, and whilst angels, gods, Saiyans, and even Frieza have fallen on this occasion, The time for rebuilding is now, as Vegeta begins to live on Earth for what exciting adventures await him. And of course, new adventures for Goku. In this timeline, what could possibly be around the corner? And maybe one day, somewhere, someplace, when the time is right, a certain female Saiyan will return. The pure-hearted female Saiyan who did everything she could for 20 years to find her sons, Kakarot and Raditz, to avenge her race and the death of her loved one Bardock. She had managed to meet some amazing people along the way, train with them, make friends, learn the way of life on Earth, and finally do the impossible and overpower the deadliest archangel of all. Wherever she is, whoever she's with, she deserves to rest and live her life how she wants. Thank you, Gine, for your kindness and courage. You were the mother that Goku needed in his life, even if it was just for a small time. A true inspiration and a true hero. And I can promise you, Bardock and Raditz are resting in a good place, and they are so proud of you. Farewell, Gine, until we meet again.